or on CGTN's mobile app, you will be able to have a 360-degree view of all the events that are currently ongoing. With me in the studio are CGTN's new media editor Liu Chen and also my colleague Jing Qiao. We'll start with you, Liu Chen. What do you have for us today?
Thank you, Dongning. I'm live in the CGTN digital newsroom. Today is a big day for my colleagues from the opinion team. The CGTN opinion team has made a special video series called Opinion Clash to respond to the topics that are often wrongly interpreted by foreign media outlets. Today, the second episode will be released. In this episode, a senior captain at China's Naval Research Institute responds to a Reuters report which warned about Chinese mainland aggression against Taiwan. And our business series Boss Talk will release a new episode in which Lan Shi from Rockwell Automation China shares his views on the draft foreign investment law. Meanwhile, TV reporters and anchors are also contributing to our coverage. Way in 2 Sessions is a special column on our website. Apart from live streams and real-time reports from the People's Congress Hall, Tian Wei has been sharing her insights on hot issues on a daily basis. Reporter Hou Na, who did a feature story with NPC Deputy Li Yanping yesterday, has also generated a multimedia report on the CGTN website. So if you missed it on TV, you can still read the story again on CGTN's new media platforms. Now back to our TV studio, Ying Qiao will give a preview of our TV coverage.
Thank you, Liu Chen, and here's what you don't want to miss on CGTN's TV. Now this morning, as lawmakers and political advisors examined the budget report, China's Minister of Finance, Liu Kun, told reporters that reducing taxation and fees will remain a priority throughout the year of 2019. In another press conference, the head of China's Poverty Reduction Leadership Office talked about how to win the tough battle against poverty. So if you missed that, you can check it out on CGTN's website and app. And also, experts are invited to the studio to help you understand Chinese politics throughout the day. So stay tuned. And today, CGTN's Hou Na and Mike Walter will talk to delegations from Shandong and the Guangxi Autonomous Region. Mike anchors from Washington, D.C. Now, this is his first time reporting 2 sessions on the spot in Beijing. And tune in China 24 tonight for this interview. And on today's Cultural Express show at 5:30, our Nathan King will focus on the wealth in Beijing, a city with actually the most billionaires in the world, easily topping the number 2 New York City. And he will also tell you what residents of the capital city think about Beijing being the richest city in the world. Dongning.
Indeed, a very strong team out there for both the TV coverage and also the digital coverage. Indeed, a lot to look into this year's 2 sessions as well. So, Liu Chen, I know that we've got a lot of feedbacks about both our coverage and also the 2 sessions themselves. So, what are the questions that have gained the most attention?
The trailer for the second episode of Ask China has received over 600,000 views on Weibo. Netizens are eager to hear from an expert from Tibet. Professor Zhigzhe Wangchuk from the China Tibetology Research Center answered questions from our audience, as China has been long faced global scrutiny over its policies on ethnic minority groups. He discusses the measures the central government has taken to help ethnic minorities in remote areas. We also asked him if ethnic minorities are restricted from traveling around the world, as some media outlets have reported. You can find his answer to this question and others on our website. Also in today's Opinion in Depth, Edward Lemon from Chinese Academy of Social Sciences discussed the importance of new foreign investment law. In the video, he answers questions related to how the law will mediate trade conflicts between China and the US, and if the law will better protect the intellectual property rights of foreign companies in China. I won't go through all the details, and we'll leave it to our audience to watch it on CGTN's website, phone app, and social media platforms. If you like it, don't forget to share this with your friends. So, Ying Qiao, what do you have from the TV side?
Thanks, Chen, and here are some highlights from what we just aired. On today's CGTN observes a special segment where the network's anchors share their own observations about China in front of our unique headquarters building. Dialogue anchor Yang Rui weighed in on China's diplomacy. This year is the 40th anniversary since the People's Republic of China and the United States established diplomatic ties. Yang Rui argued that China and the U.S. must work together to avoid a zero-sum game and prevent unilateralism in global affairs. And also our guest, Professor Wu Changqu, presented his ideas on how to boost the economy. On one hand, implement tax cuts, on the other, encourage high-tech and environmentally friendly businesses to replace firms that waste resources. We also spoke to economist Craig Botham, who said that China's new economic growth target of between 6 to 6.5% is actually a realistic one. He even said that he hoped it could be a lower bit. To find out why, check out him on CGTN's official Weibo account, a popular social media platform in China, which is often compared to Twitter. And lastly, on last night's China 24, CGTN's business host, Uchi Kwankokwo, talked about African countries working with China on the Belt and Road Initiative. Dongning.
Thank you very much indeed. And Liu Chen, today we are now joined in the studio by Mr. Chu Qiang. He's the Assistant Director of the International Monetary Institute and the Renmin University of China. He has been here just now to talk about China's tax reduction plan and the boost of domestic consumption indeed. I understand you've been trying to find out the major concerns the people on social media that are having on the economic development in China. Tell us more about some of the frequently asked questions and pick one for our guest.
So by July 2018, China had provided medical aid to 71 countries, and China has also helped other countries with building infrastructure, agriculture, and dealing with natural disasters. So questions have been raised about China's foreign aid policy and its motivations. A Weibo user asked, how would China and African countries benefit from China's foreign aid projects?
Well, Professor Xu, this is indeed a very interesting question, that China's foreign aid projections, which aroused debates not only in China but outside China as well. What's your opinion on that?
Well, actually, you're in a great luck. I've been doing this job for like more than 8 years. I've been traveling across the continent of Great Africa for many years and also the Belt and Road countries. Well, I can answer you this question. Well, actually, China is right now growing into the second largest economy of the whole world. As the economy growing up, I think it's duty to help the other countries to coming up. Well, look into all the other countries, great countries in the economy. They're doing the similar things. In America, they have the U.S. aid. It's like international aiding agencies of the United States government, and also they have JICA, the Japanese International, Cooperation Agency. It's also for the international aid, and also they have KOICA, the Korea's agencies international cooperation, and of course European Union. So all the developed nations and the regions, they've been doing the similar things because this is called the social responsibilities. Or we call it international social responsibilities, because everybody's doing so. China is following the international standard. I think it's our, due responsibility as a responsible country. Second of all, helping the other people is actually like sending the roses. You also smell the fragrance yourself. One problem is like a lot of people don't understand why we should help the poor people. Right. Actually, the modern economy is suffering from one important problem, not with lack of supply. We have oversupply problems. We don't have enough effective demand. What does it mean? It means you want more people to buy your product. You have very good product. But the problem is that the people don't have enough money to buy it. Everybody would like to have one Apple phone. Everybody would like to have one Huawei mobile phone, but they don't have the income. So we have to empower those poor people to help the whole humanity get into the whole, levels and the ground. So everybody can afford better product. So you goes up and then I catch up, and then I go up, you catch up. So the whole humanity is going to go to higher and higher ground. That's the best thing for all of us. But just imagine, certain small group of people, they have, stand up in very high ground of the income, but most of the people are laying in poverty. So no matter how good you are at the productions, the rest of the people cannot afford it. So your productivity will be wasted. So that's a bad news for all the other human beings. So from both of the moral and economical reasons, I think we should do so.
Right, and so not helping the poor people is going to create a vicious cycle, but China is actually building up a benign cycle instead of that.
Exactly.
All right. let's get back to Liu Chen. Please pass on, apparently Professor Xu is the right person to answer that question. Pass on the answers from Professor Xu to the audience who asked this question indeed. So anything else? Any other questions?
Thank you very much. The second question comes from Facebook user Mike Shop, who is from Germany. He asked, what is exactly the strategic background of the modern and new Silk Road project in China?
Right. Another one about another big project of China. What's your answer?
So he's sorry, I didn't catch up there.
About the new Silk Road. Actually, I think he's asking about the Belt and Road Initiative.
Oh, about OBOR, right?
Yes.
The Belt and Road Initiative. Well, thank you for our friends from Germany. And Mark, I would like to answer you in this way. Belt and Road Initiative is very important for China and also the Belt and Road countries. You see, there are lots of countries, well, we call it in the forgotten area. You know, in some countries, they're in the coastal regions, very developed, is always on the focus of the international news. And also there are some, we call it extremely backwater countries and regions. For example, like some part in Africa, they're extremely poor. So because they're, you know, negative situations, so they also get the international attentions and aids. But there are some countries and regions, they're not that poor, but they are not that developed. They're developing very slowly, but they're in craving for the resources and, you know, good technologies and etc. That's, you know, a lot of Belt and Road countries in the vast region in the Middle Asia and Western Asia and so on. So I think since the whole humanity are relying on the growth of US, China, and the European Union, we don't think this is enough for just the 3 spots in the whole human society to, you know, to boost the economic growth of all humanity. I think it is time now to empower all the human beings, to empower all the countries, you know, to give them a way out, to give them a hands up. So everybody can have the opportunity to develop. You know, with more and more countries and the regions developing their economy, I think it will benefit all the American companies, Chinese company, Japanese company, and etc. So I think this is our, you know, intention to doing so. And of course, China have a huge, long history. And on this road countries, we have a very good, you know, relationship with them. We have good friendship. So I think, why not we're doing that? So, and also we have the reasons I just mentioned before. You know, empower the other countries, helping the poor countries and poor people is actually empowering ourselves. We're forming a banal circle.
All right, thank you very much. Professor Xu Chang from Renmin University of China. Thank you for all your insights here. And also, thank my colleagues Liu Chen from the digital department and also Jing Chao from our newsroom. Thank you very much for all the information and questions. Every day for the next 2 weeks, Global Watch and CGTN's new media team will bring you the latest on China's annual political season. We have some more stories on today's coverage of the 2 sessions on the show, and live coverage will also be available on the CGTN app. So stay tuned for all that. You're now watching Global Watch on CGTN. Still ahead.